I think that's enough context. You don't need to say anything more.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Kat to the 7th, and I'll be your host today. Alright, let's make a video. Alright, Jitins. Jitins in my chat, he's a longtime viewer. He asked me, what is an easy character for one of their friends to pick up the game? And I was like, you know what? Let's make a little tier list. And we got easy as fuck, simple, average, harder, and sweaty. Now, I will say this is going to be for casuals, okay? This is going to be for casuals. Most of the people that I help for account reviews, Deadly Assault clears, Shiyu clears, 99% of them are casual players. So this is going to straight be for casuals only, okay? So it's going to be for casuals. I have probably done well over 200 plus account reviews now. I've been helping people. I've been reviewing people's gameplay for a very long time. So I think I have a good understanding of what some people find easier or harder to play. Now, there are going to be some characters I'm gonna need help with chat because I don't have as much experience on them. But I think for most of the list, I'll be okay. So let's go into this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, before we get into the rest of this video, just quickly remind y'all that this is from my personal experience helping the community. Please let me know down in the comments below, whether you're casual or not, what you find easier and harder to play in the game. But remember that the rest of this list is mostly my experience from helping the community and helping a lot of people who don't necessarily play this game every single day. I know there's already going to be people in the comment section typing, Haru's not hard. You'll be like, oh my god, Haru's not hard. You just don't got, you don't even got to do all that. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut your bitch ass up. I'm going to tell you right now, shut the fuck up. Okay? Okay? The amount of people that I find every single week that fucking struggle with Haru. Yeah, I'm sorry. They fucking struggle with Haru. And I will say the two easiest characters, in my opinion, in the entire game. My honest opinion. Like, a lot of people will shit on Caesar, but I get on so many people's account that have Caesar, and they'll say, yes, I know Caesar is supposedly not that. What's the word? What's the sentence I'm looking for? What am I looking for, chat? Not rated highly by a lot of the community, but they really enjoy her shield. Like, her shield makes the game a lot more fun for them to play because they don't really understand a lot of the mechanics. Maybe they're not that great at dodging. So even though they understand that a lot of the community doesn't rate Caesar that highly, because she has the shield, she makes life a lot easier for them. And this is not just for tower, this is for DA and Shiyu defense too. I'm gonna let y'all bitch out in the comments section for a little bit and then I'll explain. I'm gonna let y'all wait, I want to see what y'all say. Yeah, a lot of people don't play Koleda correctly. A lot of players do not play Koleda correctly. Most players, I find, they stay on Koleda and dodge counter only, and like will just on field Koleda the whole entire time. That's not how you're supposed to play Koleda. But I can't blame someone for thinking that's like newer to the game or doesn't like, you know, follow the game that much, because they'll hear that Koleda's dodge counter is amazing, which it is. It's a very good dodge counter. And they'll hear that Koleda does a lot of stun with her EX special. And they're thinking, oh, okay, so I need to stay on field with her and just constantly daze the enemy, then do damage with my DPS. When in reality, the characters that Koleda is actually good with, they need field time. They need to build up their resources. They need to build up their decibels so they can have their ult and stun. They need energy for stun. Like, so a lot of people actually grief their Koleda play by staying on field with her the entire time. When in reality, you're supposed to bring Koleda in, do a burst of stun, get her off the field. Because you really need your DPS to have that field time to build up their resources. Okay, I'm sorry, but chat, I'm sorry. The amount of comments I got on my last Pride Win React video with Nicole, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So many people had no idea that you could apply Nicole's defense shred with her dash attack, with her basic attacks. So many people only thought she could apply her defense shred with her EX special, ultimate, and chain attack. And I'm not saying that's their fault, because the game doesn't really do that great of a job telling you. So it's not 100% the casual player's fault. But man, the amount of times people will send me gameplay with Nicole and they're not making sure the defense shred is applied for every single anomaly proc. They're not making sure the defense shred is applied for, let's give an example, Evelyn's chain attacks. I will see people send me gameplay of Haramasa and I'll say, yo, why is the defense shred not applied for Haru and stun? They'll say, oh, I didn't have any more chain attacks and I was out of energy. You don't need energy. You don't need a chain attack. You don't need an ultimate for Nicole to apply her defense shred. This is a thing that I think is pretty massive in the community. We need to spread this. Like this needs to go around. So many people don't know this. Like a lot of players will be confused when they see a tier list and have Nicole like extremely, extremely high on the list. And they'll always say, why is Nicole so good? Like, I don't understand what makes her so good. Why does everybody rate her so highly? Well, it turns out a lot of people just don't play Nicole correctly and they don't know. So like, they just don't play her that well. And it's like, I bet you money if it was more known to the casual player how to play Nicole correctly, they would see just how strong she actually is. And they would understand why people get such high deadly assault scores with Nicole. They would understand why Nicole is so flexible. They would understand why Nicole was so highly rated. Let's move on to another easy one. Since this is for casuals, I am gonna put Miyabi up here. I don't think anyone would disagree. You can get very sweaty with Miyabi. You can absolutely get very sweaty with Miyabi. But if we're just talking about people who just want to pick up the game and just be able to do stuff, if you gave them a 5-minute rundown on how Miyabi works, they should be able to do pretty decent. As long as they had an okay build. Oh, absolutely, Evelyn. Absolutely, Evelyn. Absolutely, Evelyn. And you know what, chat? I can back this up. I'm actually going to hide the name so you know that I am not shitting on this player. Like, you know, people are trying to learn the game. This is not their fault. Like, they're trying to learn, right? But I'm going to hide their name so you know that I am not shitting on them. But people send me this kind of Evelyn gameplay all the fucking time. I get this. I've been getting this since her launch, bro. People sending me this gameplay. They just don't know how to play her, bro. Bro, people struggle with Evelyn. Bro, people struggle with Evelyn. He's playing copyright music, so I can't play the game sound. I apologize. But people struggle with Evelyn, bro. Like, I can 100% with confidence put her in sweaty. They also struggle with Xuan. It's just like Eve, just like, I know you guys, I'm sorry. Like, this is going off of my experience as a content creator and helping hundreds and hundreds of people over the last year. this is just my experience. People struggle with Xuan. People struggle with Xuan, bro. And like, again, I am not shitting on them. It's just a fact that they really do struggle with her. I could maybe put her in just harder. I'm 100% confident with Evelyn being in sweaty. Maybe we could put Xuan in harder. But man, yeah, they also struggle with Xuan. After I learned how to play Zhu, I think she's pretty simple, but I can't see how she could be on the harder side for someone. You know what I think? I think a lot of people struggle playing on-field Zhu. Because anytime I'm on stream and I'm having to clear someone's deadly assault or Shiyu defense with Zhu, it's very rare because, again, not many people have her. But on the rare occasions that I do have to clear someone's deadly assault with Zhu, I'll play on-field Zhu with either Trigger or Astra, and the last slot's always Nicole. And they'll always say, how are you doing so well with on-field Zhu? Isn't she a burst character? I tried on-field Zhu and I struggled. I've seen that comment a few times when I've been playing on-field Zhu on stream. I think more people struggle with on-field Zhu. What about simple? For Anby, she's one of these two. There's just not much A rank Anby played nowadays. I had to use her recently on that video. Editor could put it on the screen of me clearing a 2-month-old account with A rank Anby. I had to use her recently, so she's one of the two. Yeah, I'd say average, right? Yeah. Not many players are gonna do her sweaty combos though, because you can get very optimal with new Ellen. But if we were just, because this is like assuming full chain attacks, right? Because that's what most casuals will do, is full chains. Full chains is actually sometimes optimal, so it's not even like, you can't even really say full chains is a quote-unquote casual thing, because sometimes full chains is optimal for teams. But if you just gave someone Ellen Joe and you gave them a brief rundown on their kit, and they went and started playing her for like 30 minutes, how well would they do? I will say a thing about new Ellen is she has a lot of iframes now. She has the block on her scissor strike, and she now has auto dodges in her combos, so that definitely helps. If we're talking optimal gameplay, Seth is harder for sure. Like, you can actually do some crazy shit with Seth. Nyx has shown me you could do some crazy shit with Seth. But if we're talking casual, he's just simple. He's very simple. You can literally just tell someone, just defensive assist on him and do the follow-up, EX every now and then, and just keep quick assisting your DPS back in, and you'll do fine. I kind of want to put Soukaku as sweaty just because people hate this character. How many casuals do you see using Soukaku? Genuinely. Like, no one, bro. She's not easy. Like, there's still people to this day that don't understand why Soukaku is Miyabi's best support for freezable content. That's very important to mention, right? She's Miyabi's best support for freezable content because of Soukaku's anomaly app, but you can't just swing randomly. You gotta like reposition yourself, make sure you're like at the right distance to do that, and most people are just not gonna do that shit. That's why they steer away from her. There's even casuals who understand that Soukaku's very good, but they just don't want to play her. They just don't want to play her, and like, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you don't see many casual players playing Soukaku. It's fair. I'm tempted to put her up here. Lucy's very easy. She's very simple. Honestly, dude, I'm tempted to put her in easy as fuck. Yeah, I'm tempted to put her in easy as fuck. She's very easy. Now, for me, she's right here for me. But that's because I used Grace maybe less than 5 times in my life. So every time I play her, I'm like, what the fuck? But so I'm gonna let you guys tell me where she belongs. I genuinely don't know. Oh my god, Fish. You want to come help, brother? Yo.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, you want to finish? You want to finish helping the list?
Sure.
Actually, while you're here, you are the Ellen Joe main. You are the supposed rank 1 Ellen Joe. You literally won a competition for Ellen Joe. You want to speak on Ellen Joe? Yeah. Do you think her placement's fair? If we're talking casuals.
Yeah, if you're talking for a casual, I'd say she's like quite easy to learn and get the hang of. As long as you do her combos right. Although I've seen quite a few people do it wrong. She is quite hard to like min-max though, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But in terms of like, yeah, for easiness, yeah. She's pretty average.
I want to talk about Rina next.
Rina, I would say that she is actually quite hard because you need to make sure you like actually use her.
Yeah, she's definitely harder. A lot of people will not manage her buff up time, and it will just completely drop off when they really need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very, very common to see that with M0 arenas. The buff will just drop off because a lot of people don't know that you can reapply her buff with basic attacks or dash attacks. Like a lot of people think, oh, if I don't use EX, chain, or ultimate, I don't get the buff. I can't reapply the buff. Let's keep it with electric supports right now. Qingyi, she's very simple on the surface.
Yeah.
Like her game plan is very simple, right? You want to do 2 enhanced chart attacks for her full buff. You gotta, stay on field, keep clicking. I know a lot of people don't enjoy playing Qingyi. That's for fact. A lot of people dislike playing Qingyi because you have to keep clicking. I
think she's very basic to understand.
Yeah, she's very basic to understand.
I'm also not a Corin enjoyer. Have you played her much? Damn, that hard? Really?
That's my opinion. I could even see an argument for Sweaty. You could make an argument for Sweaty.
What's the gameplay look like then? Like, what makes it hard?
Okay, so it's very similar to Ellen in a way, right? Where you gotta make sure like you have enough decibels, you have enough energy for that stun window. A lot of people just don't do that, and because Corin is very short range on her attacks, she doesn't get what's it called, iframes on her EX. She gets super armor, I believe, but she doesn't get iframes. She can still get damaged. There's a lot of things. I'm not even like halfway through the things that make Corin kind of hard.
No iframes kind of sucks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even halfway
Especially
through.
if that's like a big portion of your damage as well.
Like there's a lot of things that go into Corin that make her harder to play than the average character.
Yeah.
I think my criteria for this is kind of like what Jatin said at the beginning that made me start this video in the first place. If you had someone getting into the game for the first time, or someone who took a break from the game and is coming back to the game, and they just want to know who are the characters that they can just learn easily and find some kind of success with while they're still, learning and getting through the game, who would those characters be?
Yeah, so like how hard it is to clear, or like how much more effort it takes to clear, kind of.
Not even that, not even clear, just get them through the game in general. Can also be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, like, yeah, what Parif just said, I would recommend Piper over Corin to someone who wanted an easier character. Would you disagree?
No, absolutely.
Like, I think
Piper's also very good.
You can definitely play Piper in a much sweatier way. Like, you can definitely get very sweaty with Piper. But if you wanted someone to just pick up and play a character, I think Piper's way easier than Corin.
Jane, I would put her in average. A lot of her damage depends on, actually, maybe harder, because a lot of her sort of resources and damage comes from her dodge counters. So you need to land those first of all. But it's also resource management. You need to make sure you do your EX while you have passion. You need to make sure you do her enhanced basic when you're low on passion. And also just like making use of your chains and ults, double chain even. But I mean, if you're a new player just starting, like, you shouldn't really worry about that, to be honest. So yeah, I'd say average to harder. What do you think?
I will say, as someone who doesn't have Jane, and when I do have to get on someone's account to clear with their Jane, I'm not necessarily ever struggling. Sometimes I will mismanage her passion and I'll be like, fuck. And it's like, God damn it, I didn't mean to do that, you know? But I've never really ever thought she was hard. For me, she'd be average.
Yeah. No, actually, I kind of agree though. It's like, I think her damage is good enough that, you know, it's alright to miss something. It's alright to like make a mistake. So yeah, but I mean, would you be able to say that for other characters? Sort of higher than her? Or lower, I guess.
For me personally, I kind of find Jane and Piper pretty equal in terms of how I play them in difficulty. But again, I don't have Jane, so I don't get to play her every single day and like optimize her. So I'll let you have it.
Okay, I mean, is she carried by the other anomaly though? What do you think? So if you didn't have a second anomaly, like for me, I'm kind of stuck with hyper carry. I need to make sure I do good and manage your resources properly, because that's where all my damage is coming from.
Yeah. Okay, I already know for a fact there's gonna be 20 Billy mains in the comments saying he's like the sweatiest motherfucker on the world. I think he's harder, but do you have any arguments for sweaty?
Billy mains rise up. I think it's the same. Like, is he simple to understand? Is he simple to play? Like, yeah, you can do fun stuff with him, but is that really necessary?
He's definitely one of these two. I want to put him in harder, but I am willing to hear arguments for sweaty. Yeah, the crouch shot is annoying, yes. Like, you see a lot of people do Billy's ult without being crouched, which is oof.
Yeah. I feel like you need to do the right thing when you play him. Otherwise, your damage just isn't that good.
Doesn't he also, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't he also do less damage the further away he is? Is that wrong?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good argument for ranged characters, is that it's a concept that not many people think about. If you're not playing them right, then you're just not even doing damage.
Gil's gonna kill me. If you guys don't know Gil, he's a dedicated Neko main who does crazy Neko clears on YouTube. He's gonna kill me if I don't put her in sweaty, but I genuinely don't know where to put her.
I don't know much about her, but I would say she does not need to be sweaty.
I just don't have much experience with her, bro. Like, outside of talking to Gil, he's the only Neko main I talk to regularly. I just don't got much experience with her, man. I will say, I guess an argument for harder is if you don't have M1, and you're not doing back shots?
Yeah.
Oof.
I think like understanding the concept of back shots and like you kind of got to know the enemy as well. You got to know you're actually behind the enemy, and also the fact that I think back shot snapshot as well. As for how important that is, I think it's fairly important, but I'm not a Neko player, so I don't know.
I don't know. We'll leave her there for now. I wouldn't say it's as common as Evelyn, but when people send me Hugo gameplay, more often than not, they're struggling. But I don't think it's because they're struggling with Hugo. I think they're just struggling with the team. Does that make sense?
Like struggling with the stunners?
Yeah. I don't think it's
wouldn't
Hugo.
that just depend on the stunner placement?
True. I don't think
Hugo's just press one button.
Yeah, I don't think they're struggling with
Technically, too.
Hugo. They're struggling with the team. Because him as a character is... If we're just talking Hugo, like, kit, you stun, chain, EX, or ult, right? Like, you can do, like...
I think
you can do the extra chain tech shit if you want to, but that's not necessary. But, like, his team, I have seen people, like... Especially if people don't have lighter, I have seen people struggle.
Well, that might just be because the team is bad, but yeah. Yeah, I'd actually honestly just put him in easy.
Here, let's put his stunners place next then. Where are we putting Mr. Vaughn?
I feel like to me, honestly, he feels kind of clunky to play. That might just be me though. Like he is a bit clunky to play.
I think average is fair.
Yeah, you also need a dodge.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're doing his charge and you think, oh, you're fine. Then you just get hit and it's all over.
Rivenus said he hates Vaughn. He demands a separate tier. Okay, there you go. Lighter. I think he's just average. I think he's just overall average. Want to talk about Trigger?
Easy.
Easy as fuck?
Yep. There are ways to play better. You can play her wrong. But in reality, like, that's just if you're pushing for higher scores. At base, she's got like an easy floor.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Right. I think she's one of those cases where, like, yeah, like, she's one of the characters on here where you can, like, get very sweaty with Trigger and do, like, a lot of quick swap shit to, like, fully optimize her days, fully optimize, like, her personal damage and shit. But if you want to, you could just play her extremely simple and you will get a lot of value out of her. Hey, let's talk about that big boy Ben. Where are you putting Ben?
I mean, he's pretty straightforward to play now. You kind of just, well, from how I understand it, you just parry him. You just parry.
You know, I actually talked to Rakaruk. Here, let me pull up my DMs real quick. Let me see. He wasn't aware that a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen this too, but Rakaruk is a really great player. I'm not going to take away from him. He's a very good player, and he also has very good clears with Big Ben. But a lot of people will use his Ben clears as the standard, and they'll say, oh, look, Raku did this, Raku did that. Rakaruk was able to clear this in this amount of time with this high of a score. And they never factor in his M2 lighter and his top 1% Lucy build. They never factor that in. He was actually laughing about it. He was like, oh well, I didn't know people actually did that. I just play the game for fun. I enjoy clearing. And I'm like, yeah, like Raku is the GOAT. He's a very good player. But I just think some people, it's very unfair to use his clears as the standard for what a casual player can actually get, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That happens for quite a few characters. But for someone like Ben who kind of needs to get carried hard by mindscapes, it is quite an issue.
Yeah, like Raku's good at the game and has mindscape, so of course he's gonna do well. He's a good player and he has mindscape, so of course he's gonna do very well.
Also thinking of the context of when you're actually using Ben, whether you using him as a support because you got no one else to play, which is very unlikely, or you're using him as a DPS because you have literally no other options, although you technically should. But yeah, if you want to play Ben, then consider pulling Mindscapes, I guess, if you want him to be good. That's just how it is.
How? I don't see people play him as a support anymore. I strictly only see people play Ben as a DPS. How hard is he actually as a DPS?
Also, getting days out of him while he's on field, and technically damage as well, it is fairly simple as well. I'd say, like, his kit is easy to understand. It's basically just parry and doing his big hits.
Here, let's do one of the other top tier supports. Would you say Yuzuha is very easy?
She kind of plays herself.
It's very easy to keep her buff up. Her buff lasts 40 seconds, and you're definitely going to get enough energy before 40 seconds to do another EX. So, like, it's very, very easy, almost brain dead, to keep her attack buff up.
Okay. But
yeah. Okay, so you were reading my mind. You know what? I'll let you take the floor. Since you were reading my mind.
Were you gonna talk about the new set?
Yes.
Yeah. It does put a bit more context. If you don't have enough energy, there might be a problem. Because you're also building it for AM. You're getting energy less. You might need to decide when you want to EX and when not to. Like trying to line them up to hits or damage that is more important, more relevant in your rotation. There's also sometimes issues where if you don't use all her resources, then you might just run out of stacks on her aftershocks. Mm-hmm. So I'd say she's not easy, but still simple.
Yeah, I think she's simple. That's fair. Here, we'll talk about her Spook Shack member, Alice.
She's also pretty simple to play, to be honest.
Yeah, I think she's simple too.
Yeah. Oh, actually, will we consider ICD problems? Trying to manage that.
That's the only reason I'm not putting her in easy as fuck. It's because of the ICD problems. Like, I've actually had people come to me and be like, why is my Alice not proccing Assault after I do Disorders and Anomaly? They'll say, I'm more than positive that the meter is full. Why is she not proccing an Assault? Like, a lot of casuals will get confused about that because a lot of people who don't look like really deep into the game have no clue what the fucking Anomaly ICD is. Right? So, like, when it happens to them, they're like, what, why is my Anomaly not proccing? Like, what's going on? But yeah, that's the only reason I'm not gonna put her in easy as fuck, because I had seen people like get confused about that. I think like it was her second day being out. A dude sent me a DM. It was like, yo, am I tripping or am I not proccing my Anomaly? And he sent me a clip. I was like, oh yeah, brother, you just got like completely cucked by the ICD. That feels bad, man. Here, we can keep talking about ICD here with Vivian. Riv, where are you gonna put Viv? Put Lyacon back to average or simple and put Viv into Riv's wife tier.
This doesn't answer the question.
All right, yeah, there we go. Very easy. She's very easy. Okay, let's move on. Jufufu.
Jufufu.
I'm gonna say it. I think Jufufu is extremely easy. I saw so many people say that they really prefer Fufu over Lighter, even though they know Lighter can technically have a higher damage ceiling for the team. They said they much preferred Fufu because it was so much easier to get their ultimate every single stun. And I think that is completely fucking fair.
There's less thinking for other characters. You don't have to manage decibels. You just play the rotation you need to play. And her stunning playstyle is super easy. You just defensive assist, use her EX, ult, get stacks. You don't even have to manage her set because she does it herself.
Yeah, she does it off field. Yep.
I would say easier than Trigger, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Go for it.
Oh, let's keep with the fire characters. Burnice.
Ew. Bro,
just
put her in
ew?
easy and just let's just ignore the character exists.
Did you just say ignore the character exists? What the fuck, Riv? What you got? What you got up with Burnice?
I mean, she's very easy. She's also not that good. But this isn't a tier list for that.
Bruh. Look.
Gotta maintain the agenda.
Look, when Burnice gets her buffs one day, you'll be laughing.
I think she definitely needs her buffs a lot more than Sanby.
I agree. I agree. Still don't think Burnice is bad, though. I think you're overshooting how bad she actually is a little bit. But
nah, she works. She just works. It's all good.
She's not as bad as you say. Here, shit. You said Sanby.
Sanby. Simple. You just gotta dodge. But it does mean you need to dodge.
I 100% disagree with you. People don't know what the fuck they're doing, Sanby. You were lying. You were lying.
What?
You were lying. You were lying.
Like, she's so simple. What do you mean?
No, bro. I've seen it with my own eyes since this character has come out.
How do you mess her up?
I have seen it with my own eyes. People do not do well with Sanby, bro. You were lying.
Bro, how?
Bro, I'm sorry. I have way too much evidence I've seen over the months. People do struggle with Sanby, bro.
Bro. Okay. What's the issue then?
They waste their resources. So you say just dodge, right? And stuff, right? But most people who play Sanby, they don't save her resources for stun. Like, they'll cash out all of their dashes with EX and their dodge counters they gain over time in out of stun, right? A lot of people will dodge counter, get half a mark, then immediately EX right after.
Huh?
You're saying
people do that?
See, bro, but this is what I mean, bro. That's why I wanted to specify this is for a casual tier list, like how people don't be looking for that kind of stuff, right? They don't be looking for that stuff. Like, they think, okay, let me dodge because, enemy's attacking. Okay, I'm done dodging. I have energy. Let me spend it. That's how a lot of people think, bro. And that means that they don't have energy for the stun window, and they don't have a mark 100% ready to go for the stun window. So you'll see people do stun windows on Sanby, and they'll only do like 6 dashes, bro. And that's horrible. Only doing 6 dashes on Sanby in a stun window is really bad. That's not good.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Yeah, you
It's-
changed my mind.
It's the same reason why Evelyn, like before you got on call with me, I was showing people some of the gameplay clips that people sent me for Evelyn. Dude, they were only doing 2 chain attacks in a stun window. Literally, they were only doing 2. 2. Like, you gotta get out of your TC brain real quick, Fish. I love you, brother, but get out of your TC brain being optimal right now. This is for people, you know, who aren't extreme tryhards of the game, for people who, you know, just play the game because they enjoy it. Like, who are the characters that are simpler? Like, you don't have to use much brain power, basically, right? With Sanby, you're having to constantly manage her mark. Doing a dodge counter into an EX, that's not good, right? You basically just wasted a full mark, because all you had to do was do 1 more dodge counter to fill that up, or a full basic attack string, right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that you should save your energy. A lot of people don't say that on the internet, bro. A lot of people don't come across videos that be like, oh yeah, by the way, save your energy for Sanby for the stun window, because making sure you have as many dashes as possible in the stun window is the most important thing you can do, because when the enemy is stunned, you can't dodge counter. And because you can't dodge counter, you can't rely on the dodge counter to build up your mark, right? So you need to save the energy for the stun window. You can maybe use 1 EX out of stun at the very beginning of the stun bar, like when the stun meter is at like, you know, 5-10 days built up, and maybe you can still get that energy back for the stun window. Like, there's a lot more things for Sanby, right? Like, you got to make sure that you have your resources. You want to go into the stun window with the full mark, have full energy, have your ultimate. That way you can do the maximum amount of dashes. Most people just do not do that shit, bro. They don't do that shit at all. Like, they just cash out the resources the moment they get it. That's why a character like Sanby, someone will struggle significantly more with Sanby than they would with Miyabi. And it's not because Miyabi does more damage. Yes, Miyabi does more damage than Sanby, but even if they did the same damage, or hell, let's pretend we live in a universe where Sanby did more damage than Miyabi, people would still have more success with Miyabi, because it is so much easier to manage horror resources than it is for a character like Sanby. Miyabi's not dodge counter focused, right? She's not dodge counter focused. All you gotta do is proc on a disorder. That's why a lot of people still enjoy the Miyabi Yanagi team, even though it's not Miyabi's strongest team anymore. It's very simple. People like how simple it is. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use Yanagi to help build up Miyabi stacks. That's so much more simple than managing a character like Sanby and her marks. How hard do you think Yanagi is for a casual?
She has some like interesting playstyles. For Yanagi, I think she's hard. Just because like her basic attacks, you need to sort of keep up those combos. You get out of it and it's just not very good. So like you get hit, right? And then you're back to doing B2 physical attacks, which isn't that good. So you need to dodge, or you need to use her special. You also need to use her polarity at the right moment, but that depends on the team. You can make mistakes and you can be fine. So yeah, like press EX and ult, it's that simple. Is there any way to min-max Pulchra?
Yeah, I will say one thing about Pulchra that is very, very triggering, and I do it sometimes by accident, but I immediately notice when I do it. I'm like, fuck. People like don't use her stacks. In some teams using her stacks is like for free. Like, you don't have to think about it. Like her Hunter's Gate stacks. But in other teams where you have to like actually land that heavy attack to, you know, proc the aftershocks, some people just don't think about it. Like Evelyn, for example, I've seen people play Evelyn with Pulchra, and like, they'll never proc Pulchra's aftershock. They just don't know. They don't realize. They don't realize they're not doing it, because you have to You have to hit a heavy attack.
Yeah, like a casual will not know what a heavy attack is. That's fair.
Like some teams you do heavy attacks for free, so you don't even have to think about it. But in other teams, like, yeah, you just don't see them using Pulchra stacks, and it's rough. It's rough when you see that. So that's my only complaint. But other than that, I do think she's pretty simple. Okay, Soldier 11.
I played her recently.
I know very, very, very few casuals who actually like playing Soldier 11.
Are we just gonna make her average because I feel like everything in her kit is quite simple. The only thing is just doing the basic attacks.
Let's move on to Bro. Oh, Anton is the last one. There's no reason to rate these characters yet. This is Riv's wife tier. We can put her on the actual tier list later.
Anton? Are you quick assist spamming or not?
His best team is not easy to play. His other teams without Astra, I would say they're pretty simple to understand, but like they're not that great. But I don't think we're gonna factor in how good a character's team is right now. It's objectively, if someone was new to the game and they started playing Anton without Astra, how difficult would they find him?
Do you think it's similar to Corin?
I actually have no idea. I'm gonna let you take the floor for this one. Don't know about Anton.
I feel like they're quite similar playstyle wise. You know, the same thing with managing resources and everything kind of applies to both. Same way to play.
Average, harder. Where we put him?
Honestly, I feel like because he's not a very good character, harder.
Harder?
You do need to try a bit harder to, you know, make him work.
Okay. And where are we gonna actually put Vivian? Because that's Riv's wife's tier. She's definitely harder than Burnice. I agree with Here to Milk. It's one of the two.
Quick swap as a mechanic for a casual player to make use of. That is kind of important to consider. Although it is a very simple concept.
I don't have many people send me Vivian gameplay. I'd say she's one of the rarest that I have people actually send me gameplay of.
Riff thinks Vivian is simple. I mean, yeah. To be fair, like, I feel like her kit is a lot of walls of text.
Mm-hmm.
But mechanically, it is pretty simple.
Yeah, it's really not that hard to understand. I can't speak as much as I can for a character like Sanby or Evelyn or Haru or Lighter. Like these characters that I just named and a few more on this list, like I either have like a lot of experience with or people send me a lot of gameplay of. Like they're one of the characters that is like the most recurring in gameplay that people send me to review. So I can't speak on her as heavily as I can other characters because one, I barely play her, and two, not many people send me stuff. So I can't really speak that heavy on Vivian. Okay, you're a Seed fan. Where are you going to expect Seed to be? Because you're a huge Seed fan.
Yep. I've done I've looked quite a bit into her. I think she is. The problem is, I think people are gonna play Seed wrong. The thing is that a lot of her damage comes from her Enhanced Basic 2 and her ultimate. What you need to do in a stun is to get 2 Enhanced Basics in a stun, which can be quite hard if you're not managing her resources properly. Otherwise, you're only doing 1 Enhanced Basic and 1 ult, and that is a fairly big drop off, I think. I feel like a lot of people play Seed wrong is the fact that you're playing her with a second attacker. Orphe's pretty straightforward if you're thinking about it like in a casual context. She is a bit more complex in that if you want to maintain her buff, you need to do her on-field EX. And you don't want to waste Seed field time, so you kind of want to swap cancel Seed's abilities, which is Seed's punch. You want to swap cancel that? As for other characters, you should not be playing them, but people may misunderstand that.
Now, this is my prediction. Now, obviously, we can be completely wrong. The character's not out yet, but this is just my prediction. My prediction for Orphe. Do you disagree? I think Orphe's gonna be very simple.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's my prediction.
She kind of plays herself. It's just like if you're not playing Sanby, if you want to keep her buff uptime, you just need an EX, but that's quite simple. It's not an arduous task.
She's not an AFK character. You do need to switch into Orphe quite a few times.
Yeah.
But like when you switch in, you have a clear-cut goal on that switch in. So I think she's gonna be pretty
If you
simple.
think about the difference between sort of swapping to her and not swapping to her, if you're just gonna AFK with her, you're only refreshing the buff every 25 seconds. The buff lasts 12 seconds. Technically 15 actually, because it's like on hit on a laser and the laser lasts a while. I think that's how it works. But yeah.
That's my prediction. Hell, they're already on this list. Might as well. Kamano's kit's not even like finished, so it feels weird ranking him. But we can go ahead and make a prediction. We can be. I'm okay with being completely wrong in the end. I'm okay being completely wrong. Like if this is gonna be a bad take, then it is a bad take. You know, only time will tell. But like.
Let's make some wild takes.
Where do we think Kamano would be? Are we gonna be completely right or completely wrong about Kamano? Only time will tell. Let's see how well this ages.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked too much into his kit, to be honest, but from what I gather from it, it's pretty simple. It's not just like, he's not just an AFK character point and click adventure. There is a bit more to him. Like, yeah, it's just like his assist follow-ups and everything. But I feel like understanding the concept and sort of making use of that, it's not that hard.
All right, let's predict Ihari. We're either gonna be completely right or completely wrong.
She's kind of like Jufufu. Like, she has Jufufu in her kit, where it consumes decibels, and then you can just get more. So like, you can kind of just use her ult whenever, and not really be punished for using it wrong. Do you agree?
I just want to play it safe. Let's just put her average. We're gonna play it safe. This is Riv's
I think
wife's
that's fair.
tier. This is Riv's wife's tier, so we're not gonna change that. Okay. What needs to be adjusted here? We're at the very end, wrapping it up very soon. What can we adjust here? Now, I know the big one's gonna be Xuan. So if you weren't here at the beginning when we started this tier list, the reason I put her there is because very similar to Evelyn and Haru, I would say Xuan is one of the characters people send me gameplay of that they struggle the most. Like, people really struggle with Xuan from what I've seen from a casual standpoint. Like, I have the clips to back it up, right? And once again, I want to make sure I'm reiterating this like 1,000 times. This video is not making fun of casual players. It's not making fun of anybody. It's just the truth, right? But I can see the argument because, like, at a baseline, she does sound very simple, but I have just seen a lot of people struggle with her. I think I'm okay with this. Obviously, people will have their different opinions. I'm not going to stay on it too much longer. Let me know in the comments what you think. You can give your opinions on some characters. Just know a lot of these placements for me are personal because I work with so many people helping their in-game content. And this is just my experience as a content creator for doing this over a year now, what I see in the game. Now, there are cases like Anton and Neko that I don't have any fucking experience with, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. So if you guys want to chime in on the characters that I didn't have that much experience with in the comments, please go right ahead. I read every single comment on my YouTube because I'm OCD. I can't leave a comment unread. But other than that, I think we're going to chill out. But hey, say bye, YouTube. Bye. Bye. Come join the Discord, by the way. Come join the Discord. We got almost 7,000 members. Until next time. My name's Cut to the 7th. With that, I am signing out. Peace.